Good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping on this fine Saturday. Hope you're all doing well. Today, we're going to do something kind of fun with learning how to become a millionaire. In the end, that's that's kind of the ultimate goal, right? I think, if you're like me, I remember being, young, 5, 6, 7 years old, right? And it'd be my birthday, and say, okay, blow out your candles and make a wish. And one of the things I always remember wishing for was to, get $1 million, right? That was my wish. It was either that or to have superpowers, right? To be be like Superman or something. But I just remember from a young age, that was always something that I thought would be super cool. Look, be a millionaire, right? Let's do it. And then they came out with that game show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So it's just kind of in our psyche, right? This whole idea of one day, how can I actually be a millionaire? And then we get older and we realize, it's not as easy as we thought, right? It doesn't come from wishing on your birthday. It doesn't come from being a contestant on the game show, right? There's, a lot more to it than that. But today we're going to talk about a few things that could make it actually a possibility for a lot of us, okay? So here are 10 steps that we can go through and apply in our lives to become a millionaire in 5 years or less, right? So, money isn't everything, but I'm going to make a fortune anyway, just in case, right? I love that quote. So doesn't matter where you currently are in your financial situation, whether you're just starting out or you're already making lots of money. Most people, no matter what their income, are treading water, right? So as a person's income rises, so does their spending. And that's the key point that we're going to talk about today. Few people understand how to continually increase their income, their lifestyle, and joy at the same time. So the first step that we're going to do, if we really want to become a millionaire, is we're going to create a wealth vision, right? Napoleon Hill said, when riches begin to come in, they can come so quickly in such great abundance that one wonders where they have been hiding during all those lean years, right? So anybody that's actually made money can attest to that. And it also can be the opposite, right? It can all of a sudden disappear real fast. So step one of becoming financially successful is to actually create a vision for yourself financially. Einstein, the famous Einstein, said that imagination is more important than knowledge. Arden said creativity is more important than experience. So how much imagination do you have for your future? Do you see huge potential and possibility for your life? Or do you see a pretty average life, right? That's really what it comes down to. What do we see for ourselves? What are we going to allow ourselves to become and to have? Creating a vision is an iterative process. You don't just create a vision once and then never look at it again, right? You continually create and write your vision every single day. So I will be making $1 million a year by January 1st, 2022. I will get a check for over $100,000 by October 2020. I will take a 6-week vacation in Thailand in the next 6 months, right? These are things that we can place in our lives, right? Just examples that we can vision for ourselves in the not too far distant future, okay? That's the goal. All right, second thing is we now need to create or develop a 90-day system for measuring progress, right? Because if you don't know where you want to be in 90 days, you'll never get there. That's so key, right? Every 90 days, we're going to want to review the previous 90 days and set measurable and challenging goals for the next 90 days. Short-term goals are how you build progress. Working toward a timeline is crucial for productivity. Focusing on only a few key milestones each 90 days is how you build momentum. Every 90 days, when you look back on the previous 90 days, you want a system for tracking your learning and progress. You want to get out of your routine environment and take a recovery break. Tim Ferriss calls this mini retirements, okay? Every 90 days, you want to take a few days off. You want to get away where you can ponder, reflect, think, visualize, strategize, and play. right? We want to relax. We want to be able to just, absorb what we've done and recalibrate and then start again. Okay, so that's step number 2, developing a 90-day system for measuring progress. All right, third thing we want to do is we're going to develop a daily routine to live in a flow peak state. All right, so Neville Goddard said, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and you observe the route that your attention follows. So you got to feel it, right? Every single day, you got to just kind of step back and think, oh, how would it actually feel to have $1 million sitting in the bank? And what would that do for me? And imagine that and let it kind of soak through your whole body, right? Like, oh, okay. How cool would that be? Not having to get up and go to work, right? Not having to, stress about how am I going to pay for my kids, tuition, or how am I going to, afford to get a house, right? A lot of people right now can't even find housing. It's crazy. So once we've set that our 90-day short-term goal, okay, now we're going to help build confidence and keep progressing on that path, right? So we have to have a daily routine to do that, to keep yourself in the flow, right? In the vibe. And if you can get yourself into a flow state every single day and live and operate from that flow state, now you're going to feel really good about it. Okay. Now you're going to have the confidence that you need. It is your responsibility to organize your life so that you can, also be in that flow as often as possible, right? In positive psychology, a flow state, also known as being in the zone, right? Sports people going to understand that. I'm in the zone, right? It's the mental state in which you are fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment. In essence, flow is characterized by complete absorption in what one does and a resulting loss in one's sense of space and time. It's a great way to live because now you're in the zone, right? You're doing it. It's just going. It's just flowing for you because you created that daily routine and you just know what to do now, right? It becomes a habit. It becomes something you're just constantly doing. Okay. Now, the fourth thing we want to do is design our environment for clarity, recovery, and creativity. Environment is super key. Roger Hamilton said, a lot of people think we are creatures of habit, but we're not. We are creatures of environment, okay? In order to truly upgrade your life, you can't just set the goals and build those morning routines and begin acting differently. You have to actually reshape your environment. You need an environment that matches the future you plan to create. You need an environment that not only resonates with your values and vision, but also propels your values and vision. Most people's environment is like a rushing river going to the opposite direction of where they want to go. It takes a lot of willpower to tread upstream. It is exhausting. Instead, you want your environment to pull you in the direction you want to go. That makes sense? You want to proactively surround yourself with people who inspire you. That's what it's all about. And, sometimes it reminds me of there's a comic that I saw one time. It was really funny. It has an explorer and he's going out through the jungle and he comes upon, this stone, this precious stone. And he said, oh, finally, I found the stone that only tells the truth. Right. And then the stone all of a sudden says to him, sometimes your problems are your own fault. And then he says to the stone, what? You don't know me. And so, the truth is there are hard truths out there. There's hard things. And I hate to be the bearer of, I hate to be that stone that is only going to speak the truth and tell you, what you probably need to hear, but you don't want to hear. But the answer is you need to stop surrounding yourself by negative people, right? You need to stop hanging out with people that will just pull you down. You need to stop going places where, people are that crab mentality where they're just going to pull you back into the bucket, right? They don't want you to triumph because then it makes them look bad, okay? So you got to escape from that. You got to escape from routines, from places where it's draining your energy, where it's not letting you get ahead, and instead change where you hang out, change with whom you hang out, and make sure that everybody that's you're hanging out with is pushing you towards success, right? That's why we like to jump on these trainings. That's why we want to participate in the weekly Zoom calls and everything else we do, because now you're going to surround yourself by people that are cheering you on, that are recognizing your effort and all of that, right? That's why, if you make up that excuse, oh, I've heard it all before, I don't need to go to the presentation, I've heard it before. Well, you're hurting yourself. It's not about hearing the presentation over again. It's about being in that group of people who are all trying to move ahead, and they'll bring you with them, right? They'll pull you along. Okay, so that's what it's all about. Change the environment, be involved in those situations so that you can now have that clarity, that recovery, that creativity, and stop going against the stream. All right, fifth thing is we want to focus on results, not habits or processes, right? Gary Keller said, extraordinary results are directly determined by how narrow you can make your focus, okay? So it's quite hilarious, really. Nowadays, you hear people talk about how goals and results don't matter, but that's totally nonsense, okay? It's a lie. It's not about habits or processes. It is about results. The reason we admire certain people is because of the results they get. There are countless other people who have habits that are just as inspiring, but who fail to produce powerful results. So the goals that we set are just the means. They're not the end. They are the means to grow and progress. Once you hit a goal, you take what you've learned and you continue to expand. But in the end, it really is the result, right? So let's focus on that. Let's focus on what we are achieving every single day and not just about getting in the habit. Okay. Number 6 is identify ideal mentors and partners. Aminé May Safi said, everybody wants to be somebody's Yoda. All right, you want to be a mentor. Well, wealthy people work to learn, and poor people work for money. That's a big difference, okay? It is really so easy to get close to just about anyone. I've observed this over and over in my life. I've been able to develop very close relationships with anyone I've wanted to. This is what you want. You develop mentorships and partnerships by being useful. You dedicate your thoughts and efforts to helping them. By helping them, you position yourself in a unique place. In this unique new position, making lots of money becomes easy. Why? Because you're now learning from people who have done it. They've got the experience. They've been there. They've done that. And they're more than willing to share that knowledge with you, right? I don't know any single successful person that is so selfish that they don't want to share what they've learned and, help other people along the way. Everyone I've ever talked to that's been successful has had that kind of mentality of, oh yeah, okay. Obviously, if you're just trying to, be a parasite and, just suck them dry, then no, right? If you go to somebody that's successful and, ask them for a loan, right? Ask them for money, they're going to, completely shut you off. But if you go to them in the sense of, wow, I really respect you, I'd like to learn from you, what knowledge can you share with me? I mean, that's an ego trip for them, right? They're more than willing to share what they know. They'll spend time with you if you just reach out. Absolutely, right? And I've had it happen to me. People have reached out and said, wow, can you share with me what you're doing that, to bring in the success? And I'm like, well, okay, yeah, I'll take the time, right? If you ask me that kind of thing, for sure. I'll sit down with you and we'll go through some stuff. I won't even charge you for it. So no, it's great. That's the ideal thing, is to have mentors and partners that have been successful, and don't be scared of them. Don't be scared. Don't think less of yourself. Don't think that they're going to turn you down. No, mentors will gladly give you some pointers and take some time. So find them and hang out with them. Okay, number 7 is to become a brilliant listener and observer, right? Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. right? So once you understand the context, then and only then will your words be useful. When it comes to relationships and communication, sometimes the stakes are very high. In these cases, you want to measure 10 times and cut once. In other words, you want your words to be relevant and on point. You want it to be obvious that you're there for them and not to boost your own ego. If it's really about them, then make it be about them. Ask the questions before providing ideas. Help them get clarity themselves through their own talking. Make sure they understand what is really going on in their heads by helping them clarify. Then, when you feel you could provide insight, do it in the context of what they've already said. They will then know that you are truly listening to them and that you're truly trying to help them. They will love and respect you for it because, unlike most people, you are genuine. You're a listener. That is so key. It's not about the sale. It's not about the, trying to make the money fast, right? Get rich quick kind of stuff. It's literally about loving, respecting, listening, and being genuine. And people will follow you. People will flock to you. People will want to work with you, and you'll be able to leverage your time and efforts in ways you couldn't imagine, all by being genuine. All right. Number 8 is all about focusing on who instead of how, right? Dan Sullivan said, surround yourself with people who remind you of the future more than the past. That's kind of profound, right? People that remind us of the future and our possibilities and stuff, instead of reminding us about our past and our mistakes and things that we did wrong. Part of becoming a millionaire or financially successful in whatever way you define that is by evolving beyond what Dan Sullivan calls rugged individualism. When ambitious people set goals, they often ask themselves, how do I do this, right? When you're first starting out, this is a fine question, but when your vision expands and your time becomes more valuable, you start asking a different question. Who can either do this for me or help me do this? No more rugged individualism, right? Let's leverage. Let's figure out who can either do it for me or help me do it. Rather than trying to do the how yourself, you find the who to take care of the how. Becoming a millionaire doesn't happen by being a one-person show. So it's just like I taught last week with the whole idea of leverage, right? And taking advantage of leverage, all kinds of leverage, time leverage and money leverage and talent leverage and all the different kinds of leverage. That's what we're talking about, is team, right? This is the whole thing about a team. We've been taught the team analogy since we were little kids, right? Trying to figure out how to play soccer, whatever sport we were doing, right? It's all about the team. We can't all do it alone. The quarterback can't do it alone. He needs, a receiver. He needs, people to blockers, right? To stop from being tackled. Everybody plays a part. Everybody has a different skill set. And if we do it all together, then we can be more successful. So let's stop trying to be all successful by ourselves. Let's stop doing this rugged individualism, and let's accept that, hey, as a team, we're going to get way farther ahead than if we did it by ourselves. All right, number 9, continually updating our values, right? Never stop learning, okay? Transformative experiences can change your life. Similarly, transformative relationships can change your life. You want to regularly have experiences and engage with people who upgrade your current approach and perspective of life. You want to set goals around the values you aspire to have. You want to create routines and an environment that brings those values to the forefront of your attention. Your input shapes your outlook. Then you want to live out those values daily. Then you want to regularly have experiences which upgrade, expand, and refine those values. If your definition of success hasn't changed in the last 12 months, then you haven't learned very much, right? If your definition of success hasn't changed, then you haven't been having powerful experiences. So let's go out and do it. Let's continually update our values. Let's continue to change our lives by having these transformative relationships and experiences, okay? And finally, number 10, don't wait too long when you know it's time to change. Jim Rohn, my favorite mentors, said, the way to enjoy life best is to wrap up one goal and start right on to the next one. Don't linger too long at the table of success. The only way to enjoy another meal is to get hungry. And that's the bottom line. We got to be hungry, guys. Goals are means, not ends. Once you've achieved something big, don't get stuck there just because it worked before. One of the fundamental problems with success is that it becomes a trap. People who have succeeded big get stuck living in their past. They continue to explain themselves based on what they've done rather than what they're doing. Elon Musk is a powerful exception. You never hear Elon Musk talk about the PayPal days, right? Instead, you hear him talking about the problems he's currently solving and the vision he is currently pursuing. He's not stuck in the past. Instead, he's using all of his past experiences to propel bigger and bigger results and goals and challenges. He's always growing, transforming, changing, and striving. This is a very healthy approach to life. So my friends, it is possible to actually become a millionaire in our lifetime. If we can follow these 10 steps, these 10 ideas, implement them in our lives, it's actually something that can happen. It might take a year or 2 or 5, right? Who knows? But it's actually within the realm of possibility that each and every one of us, as we work together as a team, as we apply these 10 things, so we don't wait too long to have the next success, right? We stay hungry and we stay focused, it can actually truly happen. We have the right vehicle, we have the right team, we have the right mentors, we have the right opportunity right in our hands. And so my invitation is, of course, go out and write these 10 things down, go back, watch the recording, write them down, put them on a piece of paper, stick it on your mirror, or stick it, on the wall next to your computer monitor, wherever you see it often, and think about it. Think about how you can apply these 10 things so that we can all together achieve more. Thanks so much for jumping on today. Hope that was helpful, and we will see you next week. Take care, everybody.